Well, hello everyone. You have right here. I'm talking about with the school bus field trip right here. I'm also talking about at the right place at the right time right here. And you see this right here that I drew this example right here of these kids on the school bus, right? And it's like 102 that whenever I was working on this, I'm like I don't know if anybody was looking forward to doing some examples of the school bus because the school bus is going to bring back a lot of memories too. Whenever I was a kid, that riding the school bus, and also that whenever it comes to field trips, a lot of times, and so it sure seems that way. That when we do think about a field trip, a lot of times you're thinking that yeah, that's one of the most special times of the school day, that being able to go on a field trip. But most of the time, like everybody might say, that what about these times whenever you have a few of your classmates already on board? And so it's like you got that the bus driver right here, and like everybody might think that yeah, they all look identical right here, but still, that I had this example right here to where it'll be example of kids on the school bus right here along with the bus driver, and so whenever you do think about that, and you're aware to where that yeah that whenever you come up to these moments in time to where that whenever there's a field trip that's going to be coming up, and you're aware to where yeah, what's the first what first motivates you whenever you do think about that? And it's like you're always want to know too that whenever there's a field trip that comes up, and like anybody might think that especially whenever they offer, whenever the school bus driver offers to come pick you up there at your there at your address, especially, and like everybody might say that you know, everybody might think that it's going to remind you maybe of a birthday party or a slumber party or something like that. But it's like, yeah, how if there was like maybe a logo of any kind, just talking about something like that. But still, but you see right here some examples right here of these students right here. And like yeah, for sure, like anybody say that especially if they're going to be all girls, or maybe the boys are going to be further in the back, but still that they have this example right here of passengers riding on the school bus right here, and so it's like whenever you do think about that, and you're aware to where that yeah, passengers are riding on the school bus right here, and you're wondering that hey, that yeah, that you know if that right there is supposed to be what you call a special day to where they tell you, yeah, especially around the springtime, especially, and I could put that right there too. That usually around the springtime is usually whenever you do see that right there, that you see kids that get on board the school bus right there, and you're warned to where that yeah, is that right there, if that usually is a special moment in time to where that whenever you do think about that, and you're warned to where that yeah, that what's the first thing that comes to your mind whenever you think about that? And I'll tell everybody that the first thing that really comes to my mind usually is that yeah, that you don't have to wait there at the bus stop for the bus to come or so. That this bus, the bus driver is willing to come and pick you up there at your home address to be able to take you on this trip to go to, maybe if it's the museum, or maybe to go to the movies, or maybe to go to the national parks or somewhere like that. Anything special, right? And so you want to know too that maybe if all schools could maybe do something like that, to where that they would take their kids, their students, to anywhere special, and let's just say that if it's paid for by the state or something like that, and so you're worried to where that yeah, a school bus that to where that school bus was manufactured to where it would be able to transport at least 27 students at a time, and that it will be able to take them to where they want to go. And let's just say that yeah, maybe if it's the restaurants or at the mall or the museum or the movie theaters, you name it, that talk about for field trips. And but this right here is actually, like everybody say, that if there's going to be a mobile app designed for that purpose, for sure that you would go ahead and look at that picture right there. Everybody might say that yeah, it makes you feel like everybody might say that you look at that picture right there, one of your favorite moments. You look at that picture right there, and you look at a picture right there, maybe of a few friends of yours. Maybe if you decide to go to Burger King for lunch or something like that, or like any other fancy restaurant, and like the food courts or somewhere like that. Go shop, and you're going to be with a couple of your friends, and they think is toward it. You go and look at that picture right there, and so it sure seems that way. That most of the time the way I drew this right here, and like everybody might say that all those examples, they don't all have to look identical, but all girls or something like that. There could be a few boys right there, but everybody might say that when you first see this school bus right here pulling up in your driveway, by the way, that they got the door right there, and people may want to know too that what's the first impression that you think about whenever you think about that? Is that hey, we're here, and so it's like the first thing that you may get a text message about that. Hey, we're here or something like that. And with a comma or something like that. And so it sure seems that way that each time you do think about that, and you're one or two that number one, why can't it be like any other sorts of typical shuttle bus? And so if you're going to get a message, like everybody might say that whenever it comes to days of the field trip right there, and 102 that hey, we are here right here, and so every time you think about that, and you're aware to where if every ticket or reservation were to be displayed kind of like that right there, to where that you have right here is this illustration right here of what to expect. Like everybody might say that it's going to kind of remind me of a lot of these insurance commercials, by the way, to where that if you're going to be planning a vacation or maybe like a scouting trip or somewhere like that, for the Girl Scouts, that you would see the date right there for March 15th, and then you would see field trip coming up or something like that. Yeah, I saved this for you or something. And so you're warned to where that if you look real closely right here at the passengers, just the way that they're seated right here, and the way I got them placed right there, like everybody might say that whenever you get on board that school bus, for sure that any parents might even say that the way that their kids get on board that school bus, to go on that field trip, and then like everybody might say that like any mom and dad will maybe even say too that what does that remind you of, mommy and daddy, whenever you do look at their kids get on that school bus, getting ready to go to school, and you say that they're getting ready to go on a field trip, but then this time that they actually come to pick you up there at your home address, and they're saying that we're all getting ready to go to the mall, or we're all getting ready. I'm like, go to the games, especially, and so like let's just say that this time that they're going to tell you that our field trip is we're going to be going to the game. We're going to be going to the game, and so it's like we're going to the game, and so you would see something kind of like that right there, and 102 that like everybody might say that does it feel kind of weird knowing that you're used to going to getting in your own car to go places, or maybe to do stuff, right? But then this time that you got a few of your friends that from the school, maybe that you work with, and you see them on the school bus right here. So it's like everybody might say that you're always 102 that is that known as like any sort of holiday? Like everybody might say that you see this bus right here, but this bus ride right here is actually marked for that taking you out, taking you on a special trip, especially if it's your birthday, maybe a special occasion or something like that. So usually that you would see this right here to where that maybe a few friends of yours, or maybe a couple buddies that you do know, they're already on the school bus, enjoying the ride a lot of times, and that's usually, yeah, that's usually what you would see right there is a few buddies or maybe a few of your friends already on that school bus, and you're getting ready to go on a special occasion, and so that's why it seems like that whenever you do think about that in your word to where that whenever you do, if you're getting ready to go on a field trip, that what all that you really need whenever you do go on this trip right here, and so that's why it seems like that whenever you do think about about the school bus right there, and you're warned to where that like almost all kids are going to be looking forward to going places, and like people might want to know too that what about photographs? You take many pictures if you go to the mall, or maybe if you do go to one of these museums, that you take pictures of the that event, and so we all like the Magic School Bus and all those other TV shows, but you're always want to know too that you come up to these moments to where that you got these special moments to where that you have a few of your friends that are already on board that school bus, and so really I guess the question kind of goes by is to where that really, why do you think that this is going to remind you of any insurance commercials for any reason at all? Now, why do you think that like AAA, and maybe if it's going to be Allstate or maybe Geico commercials, why do you think that this moment right here is going to remind you of any source of insurance advertisement right here? And anybody might say that for one that if it's about traveling, for sure that it's going to remind you just a little bit of going on this field trip. A few of your friends that you knew from the scouting trip or something like that, or maybe from camp, and so you're always want to know too that that school bus is going to remind you of anything in particular, right? And you're worried toward it. It don't have to be a school bus. It could be a shuttle bus, or any other source of a bus, to provide that source of transportation, right? But still, that we're talking about a bus right here that we're at least up to at least 27 passengers can go ahead and ride, and so any other source of school kid will probably say that by the time so it sure seems that way that a few of your friends already on board that bus, and wanting to know that they're waiting for you to be able to get on board, so that way they can go on this trip here, and so it sure seems that way that going to the game. We're waiting for you. We're waiting for you to be able to get on board the bus, and so that way we can go ahead and go on this trip, and that's why it seems like that each time you do think about that, and you're warned to where that back in the earlier days that you actually got on the school bus, to be able to go to school, right? But they might say that we're not actually going to school. We're going we're going to this we're going to this location here, this special location. We're going to the museum, or we're going to this library, and that is why it seems like whenever I think about that right there, and 102 that at the right place at the right time. What's really the best way to explain that? And everybody might say that for sure that whenever you do think about the school bus, for sure that you're thinking is toward why do you think anybody might even say too that you come up to these moments to where you see your friends, and let's just say that this field trip is already paid for, or something like that, or reservations, it's already been taken care of. We're waiting to be able to meet up with you, so that way we can go on this trip, and that's why it seems like that to where that don't we all think that maybe that it would be important to where that you would have that opportunity to where you can use an app. If you had this ad right here, if this right here was supposed to be like an ad right here, to where that it'll explain in detail about that there's a field trip coming up, and I'm like, yeah, and they'll tell you what all that you need. But it's like for this right here is that yeah, school bus full of kids right here, and so to me though, that like everybody might say that anybody might say that if you're going to be if you're going to be setting an ad, if you're going to be doing any source of brochure to where that you tell all the parents that school bus full of kids right here, and yeah, school bus full of kids, and if you're trying to form an ad right here to where they try to help all the parents and everybody explain to them about that, about hey, it's supposed to be a special occasion. Yeah, we're going to the game right here. That game actually they're going to be playing. Yeah, it's a small town southeast or so of like yeah. So like let's just say that if it's about maybe 40 miles away or maybe 50 miles away or something like that. But like everybody might say that whenever you do think about the field trip, by the way, that you're thinking is toward it, yeah, especially around the springtime, that's usually what a lot of kids look forward to. But still, that you might think that, okay, yeah, well, I can go ahead and drive my car over there or meet you over there at the mall or maybe anywhere like, yeah. So it's like, especially around the spring, that people might say that somebody's going to be making this opportunity. It's an opportunity to where that, hey, that, I am willing. Yeah, it's an opportunity. And a lot of times it's like you're always want to know too that, yeah, opportunity, right? That an opportunity is another way of saying this to where that hey, that somebody is willing to come meet you there at the mall, or willing to come to your house, to come and ask you and talk to you, and so yeah, so every time you do think about that, and you always want to know too that you used to get on that school bus to meet them there at the school or something like that. But like everybody might say that yeah, a lot of school students right here, those students, by the way, that hey, that they're thinking about you especially, and so every time you do think about that, by the way, that you'll want to know too that maybe if it's not going to be the money, or maybe if it's going to be what you call is like yeah, well, do we have all the papers, all the parents' permission forms and everything? But still, that at the right place at the right time. What's a good way of how to explain that? We talk about at the right place at the right time here, and like everybody might say that that one good way of how you can explain that, of course, is that yeah, you just to be able to yeah, you use a picture right here, and like everybody might say that people might say that at the right place at the right time, just to kind of realize what the situation, realize the situation for what's going on and all that, and that's why it seems like everybody might say that yeah, normally there would be like a little stop sign right here on the side of the bus and everything, but still that but talking about with the field trip right here, that you come up these moments in time to where that you actually see this school bus right here, and you can actually see a few of your classmates right there on the school bus right there. And yeah, for who's driving the bus, but they don't all have to be identical. But like everybody might say that, those insurance commercials, by the way, are maybe going to remind you just a little bit of that, to where that, yeah, especially if it's an RV, if you're going to be traveling in an RV, and you're going to see that, to where that, yeah. So anything that involve, for traveling, for sure, like everybody might say that, every time you do think about that, for sure, that, one of the reasons why it's going to, you're going to see that a lot of times. Whenever it comes to, yeah, traveling, whenever it comes to insurance, especially, you may have been used to seeing that a lot of times. Whenever it comes to, yeah, whenever it does come to, field trips, though, the same thing whenever it comes to insurance. that whenever it comes to traveling, though, especially going from the airport, that you're thinking that okay, yeah, travel, and whenever it comes to travel or something like, yeah, everybody might say, yeah, travel, and it's like, yeah, so in a lot of ways, you always want to know too that why is it that it's going to remind you of something else, and people might even say too that for sure that same school bus ride, the story about the school bus for sure. Everybody might even say too that the story about the school bus, of course, is maybe going to remind you maybe just a little bit of going to the airport and back or something like that. But like everybody might say that when we do talk about traveling, by the way, travel, that any source of transportation, and I could put that too, but it's like whenever we do think about transportation, why do you think that somebody would be more and willing to provide the transportation, knowing that like everybody might say that yeah, especially if it's especially if it's supposed to be a special occasion, that anybody might say that hey, that I am willing to come and pick you up and take you to this take you to the games. Take it to you if it's maybe if it's supposed to be maybe if it's supposed to be maybe the races or something like that, or maybe if it's the baseball game or somewhere like that, and really, who's going to provide the transportation? So it's like so every time you do think about at the right place at the right time, for sure, but it's like everybody might say that if your friends and friends and anybody that you do know of, maybe your neighbors or anybody, that if they really do want you to come along, for sure, that they'll tell you that yeah, transportation right there, travel, and opportunity, and so each time you do think about that, and you'll want to know too that hey, that why is it why is it that that's going to remind you a lot of yeah, it's going to remind you a lot of it's going to remind you a lot of yeah, when we do think about insurance, for sure that but really, I mean, I was trying to put it over there, but still trying to move opportunity right over here so that way we can all see it right here. But still, that but I'm just like kind of like want to know too that that why is it that in case if anybody's want to know too that yeah, you're trying to move it over there. I'm trying to move it over here so that way it'll be all together with school bus right here, or if you want to put it on the top right there. But is it gonna let me do it? Do that? Okay. Anyway, it's over there. But anyway, yeah. So it's like if you're trying to put this, if you're trying to form any sort of ad or some kind of like that, any sort of poster, decide toward it. Yeah, school bus right here. The school bus right here. Anything that involves travel, and for sure, anybody might say that whenever you first heard about it, for sure that you actually used it mainly because whenever it came to field trips, but whenever it comes to going to the airport and back, or anywhere else that you're going to be going, anything else that you're going to be doing, for sure, it's going to remind you of these memories of getting on the school bus and seeing your friends and seeing everybody that's going to be going, and that's why it seems like, in case if anybody's want to know too, that yeah, March 15th of 2023 right here, and you want to know too that why do you think that each word really has to be underlined, for sure, and you want to know too that why do you think that every word or so has to be underlined? It really don't. I'm just like everybody might say that you would underline the words inside of the sentence mainly because for what reason? Well, mainly because I guess that they were what you call it not really the verbs or the nouns, but and maybe maybe just another. It's another way of saying this to where it mainly focus on this. Mainly focus on these words right here. These words are saying right here, and so everybody might say that is that really right there? Is that supposed to be a Monday or a Tuesday right there? March 15th or something like that. But still, so every time you think about that, and you're 102 that Monday, Monday at 3 or something like that. But every time you think about a field trip, and I mean I can go and write on there too that Monday, and usually field trips are usually on a Monday, but still that but whenever you do think about that Monday and Monday at Monday at 8 a.m. or something like that, and yeah. So every time you think about that, and you're 102 that Monday at 8 o'clock or something like that, at 8 a.m. or something like that, and so why do you think anybody might say too that that early, and why does it have to be that early, and so really that people might even say too that if you're going to be playing any sort of field trip of any kind, for sure that why do you think, like everybody might say that if you want to do mornings or if you want to do afternoon, but you're always 102 that why is it that anything that you're trying to work out in a range, why is it going to remind you of those good old days about getting on the school bus and knowing about those incidents? Like everybody might say that every time you think about that picture, by the way, it's going to remind you of stuff for sure, even though if they don't have anything to do with maybe with about the field trip, or like everybody might say that this is not called a field trip here. This right here is supposed to be, we're going to the game, Ashley, or we're going to the mall, or we're going to the museum. And so the first thing that you think about is that, a few of your friends, they're already on the bus. They're waiting for you to get on board, just to be able to go on this trip. And so it's like, so every time you think about that, and you're 102, we're waiting. We're waiting for you to be able to go on this trip, and we're waiting for you. And I'm like, I can even put it on. I'm like, sideways, right? You can also place it sideways, but still, it's like, waiting for you, and so it sure seems that way. That each time you think about that, and you want to know, I'm like, you might get a text message from a friend of yours saying this to her that we're waiting for you. We're getting ready to go on this trip right here, and so every time you do think about that, for sure, it's maybe going to remind you of insurance, or maybe if it's going to remind you of maybe a Super Savers pass or something like that, or maybe if it's maybe your reservation tickets or something like that. But just the way that how it was all put together right here, that why is it? Everybody might say that it would really be helpful maybe if you could go ahead and design a flyer like this, like a poster board, something like that, to where that there'll be one picture in full detail of what's going on, and maybe the headlines right here, the field trip right here, and just the details right there of that event. And so, like everybody might say that if it helps out a lot to where you can go ahead and design a poster like that, to where that you're able to explain to a few of your friends to where that what exactly is it, and when is it going to be, and we're waiting for you to come along, and so it's like so each time you do think about that, and you're warned to where that that why is it going to remind you of that field trip from back whenever you were young, and knowing that anything that you may be dreaming about in 102. That yeah, you're going out for an ice cream or something like that, and you meet up with a few of your friends. A few of your friends, people that you know, maybe from the church event or somewhere like that, and you always 102. That yeah, they're all already on the bus and waiting for you to if you want to come along. And so yeah, so every time you think about that, and you're always 102. That what's the first thing that you think about whenever you do think about that? Is that hey, that there, a number of people. I'm like, yeah, they've already joined. Yeah, it's a team. We're already here. Yeah, we are here, and already on board. Yeah, we're already on board. Just to be able to go to this trip. You go on this trip right here. Go. Yeah, to get on the highway, and just to go anywhere special, and maybe to go get some good sceneries or somewhere like that. And so that's why it seems like that whenever you look at these catalogs that talk about insurance, by the way, and you're always 102. That yeah, any opportunities for sure, and you're always 102. That yeah, that you know that whenever you put together like an advertisement right here of the school bus right here, that people might say that if you can really advertise something very clearly right here, like all the details right here of the school bus, to where somebody can really understand for sure, that I'm sure that they say that it looks a lot easier than what you thought it was. And like everybody might say that based on my experience for sure, that do you think that maybe it would be a lot easier, and maybe that people might say that to where if we're talking about insurance, and maybe if we're talking about the insurance, reservation tickets to go to the concert, that don't you think that if it's explained very well on this catalog, that maybe a lot of other people would want to use it, and for sure that they'll say that hey, that yeah, I'd like to come. I'd like to come on this trip right here. And so really, that yeah, if it's a mobile app or maybe any sort of poster, poster of some kind, and you'll want to know too that yeah, just because it says school bus right there, that doesn't mean that okay, yeah, if you like yeah, it could really be any source of bus, really, but still that. So every time you think about that, and it's going to remind you of back whenever you were a kid, that yeah, you're able to go on this trip, on this event with your friends and all that, and at the time it's like the first thing that you think about is that hey, they're willing to come to your home address. They're willing to pick you up from home, and to take you on this trip right here, and it's like you're willing to come to my house to come pick me up, and and yeah, we're willing to come to your house to pick you up to go on this trip here, and so that's why it seems like everybody might say that you're always 102. That yeah, somebody is willing to come to your house to pick you up from home, to be able to take you, yeah. So how many of us really dream about that, having that opportunity to where that, yeah, your friends and family and who, like, yeah, they're on this bus right here, and they say that we're willing to pick you up from home to be able to take you on this trip here, and everybody else would say is toward it, that sounds like a dream, toward it, how many of us would really like to have that source of opportunity where you have a few of your friends that they're already on that bus, and then they say that they're going to take you on this special occasion, and having that opportunity, right? And to me, though, it's like it sure seems that way, that if you can maybe explain to everybody, maybe on a picture to where that, what exactly is it that you're thinking about, and what exactly is it that you're dreaming about, and people might say is to where that yeah, for how it all works out, for sure, and so it's like yeah, it's going to remind you of the school bus for sure, but everybody might say that yeah, that how important really do you think that that really is whenever it comes to somebody's going to tell you that that they're they'll save a ticket for you, they'll save a pass for you or something like that, and so you might tell somebody that Monday at 8 o'clock, that usually sets a reminder to where that at any time around 8 o'clock for sure that somebody's going to say that check your text messages and check your email or anything else that you may get in the mail, and want to know too that hey that we want to invite you to come with us on this trip right here, and so really that why can't there be an app about that, and everybody might say that well maybe there is, but yeah, well why can't there be an app about that, and an app that you can download, a downloadable app, to where that you can actually download it to your phone, and you can actually, it sends you alerts about, it sends you alerts, and to where that hey, hey, we're here, we're ready to go on a trip or something like that, and so yeah, everybody might say that. You may be getting used to the fact that an app on your phone is basically it's a picture, right? And I tell you one thing, everybody, if there is a holiday such as a gas tax holiday or something like that, to where that everybody that's on board that school bus, for sure, everybody that's on that bus for sure, after they went ahead and took care following their taxes. Anybody, like anybody that from work, and a few of their kids, they're on that bus to go on this event, and they're saying this to where that this is right here is supposed to be an occasion right here that it's a trip, paid for vacation that's sponsored by the school or by the company, and they're waiting for you to go with them on this trip. So everybody might say that a mobile app right here to where you can actually picture a school bus right here, school bus full of kids right here, with the bus driver right there, and they're saying this to where we're here. I'm like, to pick you up so that we could go on this trip right here, and they'll tell you that go on this trip, and we're willing to pick you up from home or to be able to take you on this trip, and so really that. We might even think too that if there is such an app like that to where they would send you text alerts about stuff like that, but really that it's not an actual school bus that comes to your address. It's actually a shuttle bus, or maybe if it's a taxi or something like that. But like everybody might say that every time you do think about that for sure, that we all look forward to the field trip, right? But still, at the same time, that you're always want to know too that it feels kind of weird knowing about the fact that you're the teacher and all the other school kids, they're willing to come pick you up, there from home, just to be able to go on this trip. And the first thing that they're going to tell you is that hey, nice to see you, or something like familiar faces. You see a few of these familiar faces on the school bus, and want to know too that hey, good to see you. Hey, how's it going? And good to see you. And so everybody might say that you come up to these moments in time to where that you see a few of your friends of yours, and a few of your friends, and want to know too that any familiar faces, and you say that they're already on that bus waiting to come and pick you up so that way they can go on this trip. And so it's like so having a logo, or like an app, having a logo design like that, to where that you would have that to where that you would see those kids on the school bus right there. And want to know too that you had that school bus right there, but everybody might say that the bus full of kids right there, but still, you see that right there, and want to know too that a lot of kids are going to look forward to that opportunity. By the way, So it's like, yeah, so every time you do think about that in your 102, that having that opportunity for sure, that how many of us would like to have that source of opportunity? And 102, that you may see it maybe in your dreams. You may dream about having that opportunity, right? And but still, but the way we think about it, though, is that yeah, that maybe if you could go ahead and put together a poster design right there of something to where that yeah, that you can work things out to where that you can go ahead and go on these trips and maybe go and meet somebody somewhere. And so at the time you want to know too that yeah, that don't you think that there should be a holiday like that? Like everybody say, occasion or something like that, to where the yeah, it's the state is going to ask you to yeah, I really don't know, everybody. I really don't know really what the state's going to do, but still, yeah, the state is going to say that please, yeah, please enter your please enter your zip code or something like that. A lot of times that's usually what they ask for is your zip code or something like that, and like yeah, if that right there is supposed to be an ad of some kind, you want to know too that yeah, for an insurance page or something like that. They say that yeah, especially for an insurance page, state a zip code right there. So let's just say if this right here was supposed to be, yeah, if it's supposed to be like maybe a holiday or something like that, a new holiday that they put into law or something like that, to where that yeah, that the schools or maybe the educational board that they're all asking you to participate in this. It's supposed to be a meeting right here. It's a meeting, like yeah, you get on that bus to go to a meeting or something like that. I mean, I really don't know, but still, like everybody might say, it's just an idea for sure. But every time you do think about that, and you're always want to know too that don't you think it would help to kind of provide a picture? Just show a picture right here of what you're talking about, and then just have like the description right here of a few so-called saying about that. And so anybody say yeah, especially if you're going to be listening to the radio for sure, that you're going to hear that, and 102 that yeah, what does it usually mean when we talk about the school bus right here? And everybody might say that really the field trip right there, right? Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.